And there you go. Perfect.
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
This feels surreal.
100 episodes.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, right? The reason I created the show, the main reason I created the show was mainly because I've made progress in my own personal life, and I don't consider that progress special. Mm-hmm. I consider it things achievable by anybody. And to be able to surround myself with high quality people, you being one of them. When the podcast was being an idea in my mind before I even made it a thing, you were the person I was running it through. You were the one who was helping me with the mic.
Had those talks at the gym, and you were like thinking about doing this. I don't know if I should. And it was like every time you were kind of fighting yourself on doing it. And literally like the last half an hour before we started this, I kind of got flashbacks to that.
Yeah.
You were making every excuse to not do this before we started. But 100 episodes, first live episode.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's the first step into a different part of the journey. You know what I mean? And I want to say the first year was my favorite year of the show because it was where we were creating memories, right? It was where the conversations happening were almost more personal, and it brought us a lot closer. And there was many times where I was doubting myself, where the courage wasn't there, to stand in front of a camera now, to record the episode the way we're recording now in front of people. That is something that clearly is giving me anxiety. Yeah. But regardless of the fact that we've done the work, and now as we move into year 3 of the podcast, I'm just grateful for you. So you had to be the first guest to be here, because the second year was difficult for me because it was the year where I made the decision where I was like, I didn't fire you, all right? but it was the decision. Like, I'm afraid. I mean, I'm terrified of getting behind the camera alone.
Yeah.
And not being able to provide quality.
Well, that was one thing you always said of like, I need somebody there because I can't talk for 20 minutes. Yeah. Now you're talking for like an hour. You talk too much.
Yeah.
No, it's you've definitely grown a lot in the last couple of years. I kind of seen the podcast evolve with you, kind of behind the scenes too, from like, the stapling the soundproofing to that extra room in your other apartment, and then like now where you are, like making reels and first live. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, one of the biggest part of it. You were there unboxing the camera, setting up the mic. I didn't know how to set up any of that, So I just want to say I appreciate you, and you're a big part of my life, and so you had to be the first one,
I wasn't supposed to be the first one, by the way.
Yeah, so we had a last minute cancellation, literally a minute beforehand. But he's coming up next, so he's not getting away from it.
That's all right.
Yeah. So let's get Trey on.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're up, big guy.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
You got the mic.
Mm-hmm.
The mic's
Mike.
Right.
Oh.
How we doing?
What's up, Trey?
What's up?
How are you?
How we doing? We at Legacy Training Center in Middletown with my boy Miguel Sanchez. What's up, fam? How we doing?
All right, you ready?
The nerves out a little bit. I'm good.
Wow,
I'm good.
Nervous
Woo!
as well. But that's okay. That's why we're here. Now, I'm treating this as a regular episode.
Yeah.
And the purpose behind every episode is always the same, to provide quality value, to make you, the listener, I'd like to word it specifically, like lead you to a place of curiosity with the understanding that life gets better when we allow ourselves to become better by the choices that we make.
Yeah, for sure.
Hence the name Compounding Daily.
Yep.
And we literally would not be here where I'm sitting, where I'm physically at right now, if it wasn't for one of my best friends, my trainer, my coach, my mentor, my brother.
I appreciate
you, brother. And that's why you're here.
I appreciate
But
you,
let's
man.
treat this like a regular episode. I know you're always loaded with questions. I know you always have things to say.
Yeah.
So I don't just want this to be an appreciation episode. So talk to me. What do you got?
I don't know. I don't have anything right now, honestly. This is 2025, man. It's the first of the year.
Yeah.
Another year full of opportunities, full of blessings. Just continuing to be consistent into 2025 and carrying on the things that we worked on in 2024. That's pretty much it, man. And continue to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, people that have similar goals to continue to get better. And that's really it, man. That's it. Just another day. That's all it is. We got people coming in, rolling in. I see family and friends. It's crazy. I feel like I'm on a TV show. It's crazy, man. But what about you? What does 2025 look like for you?
You're looking at it, man. At the moment, this is a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
So my personal life is strictly focused on progression.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't like the idea that as I get older, I'm slowing down. Yep. I like to think that I have more experience to now put out into the world and test out. And year one was getting over the fear of being judged, essentially.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Because you're putting words out into the world and people listen and they'll make their own opinion of it. And then year two was learning how to do that by myself.
Yes, exactly.
And I titled year three for myself the year of expansion.
Yep.
So my main focus for this year is to just expand on everything.
Steady growth.
It was the best year of my life, 2024.
Likewise,
and every single person in here played a big part of that.
Absolutely.
So moving forward, the goal is to get better.
Yeah.
Right.
That's always
the new
1%.
year, same me, better decisions.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm aiming for.
And right there with you, brothers, continue to do the things we did last year, but even better. Try not to go backwards. Continue to add values. Surround ourselves more with people with like-minded individuals like ourselves. And that's pretty much it, man.
Like
steady growth.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Anybody else want to hop on this bad boy?
Yeah, this is the episode. So if there's any questions, if there's anybody who wants to say something, I can just pick people that I know will say great things. No? Yeah, you can. Come on. Anyway,
and next
it
up,
doesn't matter.
We have Juliana.
Thank you for remembering the mic.
Sure, I know.
All right, so for those who don't know, this is my lovely fiance.
Hello.
Welcome, baby.
Here I am. I can't hear it.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different setup, so it's recording. You just can't hear yourself.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here. So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
If you could pick one out of the last 100 episodes, which one sticks out the most to you?
Ooh. That's a hard question.
It's a good one,
and
right?
That's a difficult.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
I don't remember the exact episode.
It could be a topic too,
This one that comes to mind specifically was an episode where I believe it was the first time I was telling the story as to what led to me being, with lack of better wording, sick of myself. And it was definitely with Gino and Sammer, and it was an emotional episode for me. It was probably the first time I cried, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to go through this. So that one stands out a lot because, as you know, obviously you're my fiance, I'm a crier. I cry, and it's not always sad, I promise. And she always says, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. It's just sometimes I can't. I like to just let the emotions go out. And the amount of tears I've shed in the last 2 years building this podcast, meeting you, meeting every single person in this room, and just developing this with this little community for me is something I don't take for granted. So that episode specifically stands out because
the first one you cried.
The first one I cried on.
Got it.
Yeah, because I do my best to not cry in front of people, and I do good under pressure. You know what I mean? But sometimes Jesus comes out. Okay. So,
I think my favorite episode, not that you asked, but if you had to ask me, I would say my favorite episode that I've been on. I've listened to all of them, obviously, but I love the one where it was me, you, Sarah, and Sammer talking about relationships. I also really love the one where it was me, you, and Dwight.
Yeah,
that one was awesome. That was a really good one.
That was a fan favorite as well.
And actually, I was like trapped in the making my own excuses kind of thing during that one because I wasn't going to boxing, and Dwight was like seeing him there and like hearing him talking about just how he is and how he pushes people and whatnot. I was like, all right, I need to get back to boxing. So, yeah, no, that was definitely a couple of my favorite moments.
Yeah, well, a lot of the moments were created because of you, right? The studio is in our home. You know, I wouldn't be here without the amount of support that you give me. She doesn't cook all my meals, all right? I cook for myself sometimes,
I'm sorry.
you know, but she cooks a lot of them. And when I tell you that the amount of stress that is relieved when you surround yourself by the right person, the most important one being the significant other you choose by your side, plays a big part into the person that you become. So, thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
I appreciate it. Love you too.
But yeah, that was my question. Do you have anything else that you want me to?
No, I don't have anything specific in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, we're winging this. Yeah, a bunch of anxiety was behind me, right? I didn't expect this many people to come, I'll be honest with you. You know, but I'm very grateful. Huh?
I know, no expectations.
Yeah, I never said that's something about me. I don't set expectations, so I could never be disappointed. Usually I'm always surprised, you know, so it's a good trait to adapt. Right. But unless you guys are going to volunteer, I know who I want next.
Who?
I want Amanda next.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm stepping on the cord. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was a great time. Until next time.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. Hi, Amanda.
I know.
Okay.
Perfect. Welcome. Episode 100.
Yes.
Yes. So you're one of the persons that I wanted to get with the most because you're probably one of the people I've seen change the most.
Oh.
And I don't want to directly correlate it to the podcast because I'm sure it's not.
Okay.
But a big part of the podcast is people progressing through life.
Yes.
And if people listen to the episode that you were on and talk to the Amanda that you are now, you are not the same person.
Oh, absolutely not.
You know, so I want to talk to you about what's in plan for 2025. Well, going into the new year, obviously
I'm about to be a mama.
Change. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Never would have expected it. Definitely knew. It was definitely something that I questioned because I didn't know if I was ever going to be a mom because I was so used to being alone or like with my friends and everything. So this was definitely a huge change because now it's not just about me. I have a stepson and then now I'm going to have another son. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're happy, healthy.
And surrounded by good people.
Oh, 100%.
The most important thing.
Oh, 100%. Everyone here has been like super supportive with Chris and I and the journey that we're on, and I couldn't be more thankful for it.
Yeah. Well, your energy is contagious. You know, like you could easily start. This is why I'm hard on you.
You're so hard.
I'm probably one of the meanest persons in your life, but I hope you never know that it comes off.
It's all love.
It's literally all from a genuine place of care.
Yeah.
Because I see examples every day of the excuses people make for themselves to justify their lack of effort.
Yeah.
You know, and knowing that you're so close into my life, I'm like, I refuse to see that happening.
I know, and I've said something too. I was like, I don't know how people work out while they're pregnant. It's so difficult. Everything on Instagram. I started sending
her reels.
Oh, he was so mad. And I was just like, it's so difficult. Like, I can't breathe. I can't move. I can't bend down. But after a while, I was like, I was even talking to Chris about it. I was like, I wish I did more when I was like pregnant instead of like being hard on myself, right? Like, oh, today I can't go to the gym because I'm so tired. And it's true. Your body like shuts down when you're pregnant. But I'm still trying to work out as much as I can, still trying to move around, take the dogs out on a walk. And that's pretty much all I could really do. Eat healthy.
You're focusing on the things that you can control.
Exactly.
Yeah, you were squatting the other day.
That was a lot for me. That was a lot. Not gonna lie, because usually I would squat, like 200, and I just went down to 135.
Well, your life has changed drastically. That you literally went from prep for a powerlifting competition to becoming a mother.
But now it's more motivation to actually have a powerlifting comp because I did pull myself out because I couldn't push the weight.
Of course.
So it was more mental for me, not like the physical wise. It was more mental because I'm like, I know what I'm capable of. So now this year, having a son and even having Carson around too, I'm like, I know I can prove to them that like even though I'm a mom, I can still go on.
Well, you know, that's one of those subjects that I avoided talking to for a very long time, right? And Gino knows because like I told Gino, do you know what I want to talk about? Parents and using children as excuses, and then in my head I'm like, well, you're not a dad, Miguel. Like, what do you know about being a parent? But over time, you see the examples, right? Because I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have to look far to see people saying things like, just wait till you have kids. And I'm in my head, I process that, and I'm like, so your kid's the excuse.
No.
And that's a sour subject for many people. A subject, that even my sister. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. It's something that I spoke to my sister personally about because now I have my lovely godson and my nephew here.
Right.
And I always told her, I'm like, listen, don't let them become the reason, because you'll never tell your children that to their face. Like, I was in shape. And then you were born.
And then you came and now I'm a
get what
fat
I-
ass.
Yeah,
no.
exactly. So for me to be able to have such conversations with you without getting I don't know if I could curse on here, but without getting a F you,
Oh, yeah, I should have pressed music.
you know what I mean? Like, instead of you giving that to me, you took it well, and I've seen you grow from it, and I appreciate your friendship more than words could express.
I love you, Chris. Stop it.
Yeah.
Well, even watching Chris too, like, especially being pregnant, obviously I'm home more.
Mhm.
So he'll get Carson ready for bed. Once he's in bed, Chris literally comes to the gym at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And we'll work out till midnight. And some days I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to tell him, like, oh, don't go. I know it's something that he likes to do, but he prioritizes his kid first, and then he prioritizes himself.
Mhm.
So it's like he's focused more on Carson, goes to the gym when he's in bed because I'm home.
Mhm.
And we even had to talk about it when, like, Ezra's here too. I'm
Mhm.
like, how are we both going to go to the gym?
Yeah,
What are we both going to do? He's like, we'll make it work.
that's it.
That's it. And we also don't want to stop our lives too, because, like, your wedding's next year
Mhm.
or this year. And then a bunch of our friends are, like, moving on with their life. Yes, girl. And everyone's moving on. And I was like, I don't want my kid to stop, like, our lives. I want them to be included in our
Yes.
lives. So it's like, if you guys want to go to a brewery or do something fun, my kid's coming along. Because I don't ever want to be like, no, I can't do that. My kid's around.
Yeah.
Blah, blah,
You're
blah,
still an
blah.
individual, right? If anything,
Carson's here right now.
Yeah, it's all in perspective, personally
Yeah.
speaking. That's a big approach to almost everything that I speak about, right? Because if you choose to entertain the better perspective,
Yeah,
your actions will be better,
exactly.
if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So the perspective of, like, well, I have a child now, so therefore I can't.
No.
It's like, well, I have a child now, so therefore I must.
Oh, yeah. And I just talked to
Different
Chris about that, like, with
conversation.
school and everything. I was like, I don't want to, like, be at home all the time and not have a career. Because,
Yes.
like, what if things don't work out?
Mhm.
Or what if something happens?
Mhm.
One of us can lose our job. Like, I want to be able to support myself and our kids
Mhm.
and our family together. And we talked about that too, because he's like, well, we want to be financially stable where we can go on vacations with our kid.
Yes.
Like, we don't want to just be like,
Not to
oh, we
eliminate.
can't do it.
But a
'cause we have
vacation
the
without the kids isn't bad either.
Oh, trust me, I know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Don't worry. But it is true. It's like, it gave me a whole different perspective because it's not just him and I.
Mhm.
It's like him and I and plus two.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stop my life for that. I want to, like, motivate them to see, like, oh, mom's actually doing it. Like, she's trying her best. She's actually
setting the
motivated.
example.
Dad's doing it. He's motivated. He's still working out and prioritizing his health too.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, because I have so many friends that are moms that are like, I can't work out. I can't eat right. Like, you don't get it. You're not a mom just yet. And I'm like, you can try to, like, balance that out. It's all in what you want to do and how you can gauge it with your partner, pretty much.
Yeah. And that's the right attitude.
Yeah,
And that's
for
what
sure.
it takes.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so-
talk to Chris all the time about it. I'm like,
Dude,
what are
those
we
are the
gonna do?
conversations. Ask Chris how many times we've had the conversations about parenting and just life in
Yeah.
general, right? Because I believe the if there's anything that I take pride in is asking the questions most people don't want to entertain.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And questions like the conversation we just had
Yeah.
are the questions that lead to different decisions.
And now we're at that age where a lot of our friends are becoming parents too.
Mhm.
So it's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
You got to support each other, right?
Yeah.
As, like, friends, parents, and every kid's different. Every relationship's
Yeah.
different. Parents are different. But it's all in how you think that you can change it together with your partner.
Yeah.
And move forward.
Yeah, and we're all individuals, right? So I
Yeah.
always tell people, you walk in your own shoes, and nobody knows how they fit for you.
Oh, yeah.
So when I tell people that you got to be healthy, they look through my profile and they see the workouts, and they're like, "Well, I can't do that." Well, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? And everybody is different, so you got to figure out
yeah.
what works for you. And to have a conversation with a partner like that is what will make the difference in your future.
Oh, for
You
sure.
know? I'm looking forward, and I'm
Dude, I'm
grateful to be
excited.
a part of your 2025.
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to bring him to your show. We're making little onesies for him.
No way.
No, I swear to God, Team Miguel, are you kidding me? He's going to represent.
You got to put a little bicep on him.
Oh, for sure. I swear to God, we will. No joke.
Uh,
But no, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see where you and Juliana go together. And as individuals, I told you that the other night. and just everyone here too, seeing like how everyone's progressed in their relationships and as individuals. It's beautiful to see. I think we have a good core friendship going on in here. I love it. And then this one too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here.
Dude,
Physically,
appreciate
thank you
you.
for being a part of this. It means a lot.
Of
Thank
course.
you for not having to scare you. I had to scare you just getting on here.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me questions. So
you came prepared?
I was prepared.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Don't worry, I had a big latte.
Well, thank you.
Of course.
Huh?
Who's the next?
You want to get on, Sean? Get on. Come on, let's go.
If my hand's sweaty, I'm so
So everyone watching right now on Facebook and YouTube, we are live at Legacy in Middletown, Connecticut. Thanks for joining in. We have Miguel Sanchez on Compounding Daily, and he's back on. Let's go.
All right. Sean, just keep one off because they're so good. You don't hear anything. That's what I did. Yep, that's perfect.
All right. Congrats on 100, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Flies by. And I guess the one thing I was thinking about while you guys were all talking was like just consistency. Every week, one episode at a time. You're at 100.
Don't make me cry.
No, not. My heart races sometimes, but you're very passionate. And the one thing I wanted to ask you on here was about recapping 2024 and going into 2025. What is the one thing you thought you needed in 2024, and what is it that you actually needed in 2024?
Damn. That's a good question. So what I thought I needed was elimination of vices. I'll start with that. I thought that in order for me to become better, I had to start eliminating things in my life that I was doing, things that might have been hindering me personally. And some of those things are personal. We all have our inner battles and everything. And a shift happened because by like March, May time frame, I was battling that side of myself so much that it got to a point where it was like, you're not winning. You keep regressing backwards, because I always tell people what you see on social media is what I allow you to see. But believe me, I'm human. I'm tired. I'm exhausted, just like everybody. And what I actually needed was acceptance. This is who you are. This is part of who you are. So the sooner you accept it, the less time you're wasting battling it. So I just let myself exist. And that's not meant to sound deep and, psychological in any way, but it's just my own internal, when you look in the mirror and there are things you're not happy with, right? But some things are just there to be. And sometimes those things are not physically, they might be a little bit more mentally. And sometimes you're trying so hard to get things in order that you're hindering the progress instead of just letting things exist as they are, accepting them as your reality and moving forward from there. That's the answer to that difficult question.
That was right on. Yeah, quick.
Thank you. Here, let me put my script away.
And what do you think you need going into 2025?
What I need is, as crazy as it sounds, I need a little more courage, right? There's just things I procrastinate. Ask Juliana. She's the number one witness of everything. I procrastinate, and I'm consistent with certain things, but I know what is required of me to move forward. I see it. I know it. And I see the time invested, and I'm just like, I'm not ready for that, right? I accept that. But I know that, okay, here's another year. Are you still going to entertain the same conversations? And this year, I don't intend to entertain them so much. This year, I plan on. This is a big part of it. Like, when I tell you that the room is full the way that it is right now, it's more than I expected, more than I could have even imagined, because I just never thought that I would be here to begin with. So when I set up this, people have been placed in my life because of who I am. And I say that very purposefully, right? Because I have Mike here, my producer, and I literally met him here through Legacy. And I would have never met Trey if it wasn't for, I don't want to get in trouble for saying, for go-to. I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for go-to. And literally a lot of these people are because of that. And I don't believe in coincidences. You know, I believe that everything happens for a reason. And when I've been focusing on my goal for the last going now on 3 years, I always look for signs. And when people are placed in my life, like you know, the wonderful episode we had, the conversations we've had aren't just me telling you to get better, it's me learning from you and your experience, right? And then I get to share that with listeners. And then I get to share that with the people in my life whom I care about. And then because of you going through your difficulties and becoming better, I became better, they become better. And that's the essence of what I want to continue going, you know, because if I want to expand on that, I got to be a little bit more courageous. If anything, I got to be able to do the things that I don't want to do, like click live on social media and actually be in front of an audience and do those sort of things. So, yeah.
Cool.
I ask you the same question moving into 2025 because the other said I bust your balls too.
Yeah,
just like if you know me personally, you know I'm
Yes.
sending you I'm sending you personal DMs. Like, what are you doing about your life?
Yeah,
You know, so
I've reached out from time to time. Like, one thing I was thinking of was after I'd opened the gym, I went MIA because like my life changed so fast. Like, I was in a career of 10 years, and like I think it was a day or two after we recorded the last episode, I was let go of my job,
I recall,
and I thought I was going to retire at this place, and I loved it so much. But at the end of the day, I didn't love what I was doing anymore. So, you know, I'm trying to like get my head wrapped around everything. I opened a gym, started my own consulting business, and I thought in 2024 I just needed more money because, like, you know, financial security as well. What am I going to do? So I'm just grinding, working 80 hours a week. And what I actually needed was that time freedom that allowed me to go from working 80 hours a week to working as my own self-employed, like 20, 30 hours a week, taking it easy. Yeah, just like I got real dialed in. I remember the last time I messaged you on Instagram and I was like, dude, I'm like highest I've ever been in weight. And you asked me like, what are you going to do about it?
yeah.
And I'm at the lowest right now in weight that I've been since January 2023.
Wow.
And it was after that conversation. I've been locked in. So starting in September, I started tracking every day, and I was never going to track my macros. And I just know that tracking is the key to success in whatever you're doing. And I've learned that through watching you too. So I'm tracking. I'm not losing any weight in September, and then October I'm tracking every day. So I'm like, I'm still winning because I'm macros are dialed in. I'm doing it every day. And Trey and I are talking. He's like, yeah, you're not in a deficit. You got to drop those calories. So I did, and I started losing a pound a week. And now I'm tracking, and my macros are dialed in, and I'm hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a week. And but one thing that I'm going into 2025 with is that every time I go all in on something, like I'm all in at the gym, other things suffer. Like now my work life, now I'm only working 20 hours a week, and now I need to put more time into my work or my relationship. So 2025, I just want to go in, and 2024 was so crazy, so many abrupt changes. I just want to dial in and be consistent in a routine. I want to sleep on time. I want to eat well.
Well, that's the hardest part, right? So like consistency is a skill, and it's just something that is built over time. And it always demotivates people, as I'm sure you're aware, when they seek an answer with an easy fix to a big problem, because life doesn't work like that, you know. But when you understand that time, good decisions, like you just went from, you knew what you had to do, and then you started doing what you had to do, and now you just had to play the patience game. You're like, all right, I gotta do this every day, consistently, without stopping, and eventually I might see the progress I want. Right? But if you do that long enough, you forget about the progress and you start seeing the lifestyle change. When I tell you that I salivate at the thought of McDonald's, I do, right? But then I think of going and then I eat it and then I feel like shit. And I'm like, why did I just do that to myself? You know what I mean? And there was a point where I could still enjoy it, but you eventually get past the threshold. And that's not just diet-wise, that's life-wise. So you've set the goal, right? And eventually you'll be so good at macros that you're not tracking it anymore. You just look at a plate and you're like, I know this is a healthy plate. You see the protein, the carbs, and the fats. And now you can focus more time on your business, on your other journeys that you're on. You get what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like you build a habit. What do they say? 90 days to build a habit. And once it becomes like brushing your teeth. And that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm going to keep tracking. I'm going to keep going and doing it. That way it doesn't be, I want to get to the point where it's not work and I can start focusing on doing other things.
Yes.
that I'm focused on.
Yeah, well, a big part of doing things like this is that it puts you in a place of accountability. There's one thing that I am not, and it's a liar. So that's why when I tell people that if I'm live or if I'm in front of people or if I have a big goal that I'm setting for myself, I tell a lot of people in my life, because now I'm getting a lot of like, didn't you say you were going to do that? And I don't want to have that conversation. So accountability plays a big part, and know that you are part of this community. Yeah. And I appreciate you for everything that you are, and I mean that. So, yeah.
All right. Who's next?
Come here. I'll introduce you before we do a full episode. Come on. Yeah, come on. Dude, thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right, everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube, we are live in Legacy Training Center in Middletown, Connecticut. Miguel Sanchez. We got guests. We got a full house here at the gym. And we're ready to go.
And then just speaking to the microphone. Perfect. Where do I even begin with you? Most of you don't know him personally, but this is the guy who's been keeping me clean for over 10 years now. This is my barber. Right? So when I tell you that the friendship that we've built over a decade has been, some people say, though, you just go and get a haircut, and now for me it was more of a therapy session, and I can tell you how many times I vented to this man, as Fat Miguel, as Skinny Miguel. A few years ago, he braided my hair. Yeah, exactly. So if there's anybody who's seen the journey, the development, and who has had a huge influence in my life, not just because of your words, but because of who you've become, which I'll say for a full episode, because you're gonna be on. It's more than I can express in words. So I have to get you on here, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I don't expect much words if you don't want to say much, but I had to let my community know how much you mean to me and the part that you played. So, and his name's Danny, not just the barber. I'm sorry.
Danny the barber.
Yeah, Danny the barber. What's up, brother?
Cool, bro. You have to support you, bro.
I know. And you've been doing that for years. Literally. Because when I look good, I feel good. And he is the reason that I feel good.
I got to let it be known.
What you
look like today wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, this is me. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, because I know I just saw the hesitation.
No, you're
getting
good.
on.
I'm just camera shy.
I know.
Your growth is tremendous.
Hold the mic, please.
Your growth is tremendous. I've been seeing, like you said, every phase of you, and to see who you become and who you're working towards to be today is like an amazing transformation. Because in the barbershop, most people think a barber is just a barber, and to be honest, like, we watch people grow from all sorts of aspects of life. I got kids that I've been cutting hair since they're 6 years old. And they're pretty much right now, I got a kid who's in college playing college basketball. I've been seeing him since he was a kid that wouldn't want to stay still in my chair at all. And now he's playing college ball, and I look at him, I'm like, I've been cutting hair that long. His dad is like, I don't know what's up. He doesn't want to go nowhere. He don't want to get a haircut. I know it has to be like you. And then he'll call me, can you fit me in, D? Can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, all right, cool. It becomes a thing that like you feel like you let him down because you're growing up in your chair. But then seeing Miguel's phase of when I came out from a certain situation, and I come back and I see Miguel in my life, and then he's like, I remember you cut my hair before. I'm like, nah. He's like, nah, yeah. I'm like, I cut his hair. I'm thinking that's the last time I'm gonna see him. Then as time goes on, I see him in the phase of like working for somebody, and then going into starting his own little company, and then going on to the phase of the situation where he's just like, I don't know where I want to be anymore. And always talk to me. I'm always giving him advice. Then I come and see him and like, I think I'm tired of everything I'm doing. I'm about to go to the gym. I'm like, all right, cool. Usually hear that type of stuff, and then people give up after a little bit. Then it's like, wait a minute, bro, you juicing, bro? Like, how does this happen? And it's like, it didn't happen overnight, but you start looking at him like, all right, cool. It got to the point where even he started bringing more positivity, and I'm always telling him, I want to go back to the gym. I want to get back into the gym. I want to get back to the gym. Then he brings Trey along.
I'm telling Trey the same story. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm working in front of a mirror all day. I'm like, nah, I got to do this. Finally, I gave in. I've been in the gym for like a year. Then I start visiting these guys, and then like just your words of inspiration, and sometimes talking to Trey and talking to you, like actually encouraged me to actually start changing myself a little bit, like trying to eat healthy as I can, which is hard to do as a barber. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But at least I'd wake up at 5:30 in the morning as much as I can to go to the gym. Just start the phase of just getting up and doing it, and that's the hardest thing to do is to get up and do something, because at least you can look in the mirror and say you tried. So the impact that you played on me is just as much as I played on you. So just know you're valued as well, brother.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, leave it up there.
Come on, girl.
Okay. What time? What are we at?
12:36.
Okay.
Or, oh, not 36.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know.
It's okay.
Yay, Haley! Woo!
Hi.
Hello.
I have to put this on one ear.
Yeah, because if you put them on, it becomes almost like a suction cup, and it makes it difficult to hear
Too
everybody else.
big.
Mhm.
Okay. I have to hold it.
No,
Yeah.
you can adjust it.
Okay.
I think
That's fine.
first time we'll fix everything
Yeah.
going forward. What's up?
A lot has happened. I was on July 1st,
Mhm.
I think was my episode. A lot has changed, like personally and family wise, some tough times. And like I've kind of fallen off where I kind of was going and what I had been doing.
For good reasons,
In
for
July.
justifiable reasons.
Yeah,
I won't put your
yeah.
business out there.
But it was
you
a
know.
couple months.
Mhm.
It was hard. And I remember, and this is what like your podcast and just you in general mean to me is, I know Sean said it, everyone has said it, like consistency, motivation, watching your consistency, it definitely drills into my head. Like sometimes I'm like, I do something, I'm like, shit, what would Miguel think? What would Miguel say? Like, what would he say to me to like get me out of my head? And I think it was, I don't know when it was, might have been October. And I came over to your guys' place and we had dinner and I was like, what do I do? And then I think it was like the next day I like texted Trey and I was like, okay, I'm coming back to the gym. And I haven't gotten back to my consistency yet, but it definitely jump-started me. So I think that that's really what this podcast means to me is the consistency in it. And I'm looking forward to going into this year with getting back to that and continuing to make progress because I don't want to stop what I've been doing and all the progress I've made. And
Yeah.
So
You won't, because we won't allow it.
right.
Right.
Exactly.
But so like it's the feeling is very mutual, and I always speak about a ripple, right? A lot of motivation that keeps me consistent is conversations like this, right? So right now we're live and there's people watching, but as Juliana, I have a profile in my phone of messages that I save. I don't post them; they're personal for me, and those are what I use as reminders when I don't want to go to work out, when I don't want to go to work. I wake up at the moment at 3:45 in the morning to go on a walk, and it's only because I got to do the morning message. You know what I mean? And the live hard that I'm doing and everything. But I don't want to do it 99% of the time. Ask her. She deals with the worst part of me because when I wake up, I'm unfiltered, and I wake up and I'm like, fuck. I don't want to get breath. I don't want to go. I'm tired. The things that I don't put out there. But then I'm reminded, like Haley's watching, Taylor's watching, Sammer's watching, my mother's here. She's watching. And I'm just like, who am I showing up as for them? And the conversations we've had both with Juliana and in private have all the conversations that I reflect on a lot. And you've gone insanely far with the journey that you started. Remember where you started.
Yeah.
And you've progressed a little bit, but like I said, for justifiable reasons. Now moving forward, because you're here, because you're surrounded by good people, it's not a matter of if you're gonna get back on track. It's just a matter of when, and you're already doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And the community that like you've built, like all the people that I've met through Juliana and you, just so motivating everyone. And I'm just happy to be a part of this. Met Trey, I'm in the gym, need to get back. But just everybody here tomorrow. I'm just thankful for everyone. So
Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Yes, girl. Yes.
the millennial part.
Yeah, so unless you have a question.
I might peanut gallery question over there when I think
Perfect.
of something.
Send it
Perfect.
on the live feed on
Okay,
Facebook.
I'll be
on Instagram.
interactive. And we're gonna be family this year too. So
Yeah.
okay.
Come on, Tate.
All right, coming.
Okay, Taylor.
Okay. Woo! Not really. I'm a teacher and here I am sweating, so. Alright.
Oh, I'm worried
I
about
have a
you.
question.
Oh, boy.
Oh God. Is this, what did I need that for?
It's for the phone.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so, oh gosh, hold on, guys, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, so I was thinking back to our episode and I was thinking about how we talked about how like sometimes we might not understand people's stories and like not jumping to conclusions because you had a friend and you kind of were like, why is he lazy? And I don't remember the whole story. you
Yeah,
gave
I
me.
recall.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, maybe you're not understanding his whole viewpoint and stuff like that. So it got me thinking, like, you know, the new year's coming and everything, and I was just thinking about what was one piece of advice that you could give somebody who, you know, wants to make a resolution, wants to start up something, but you know how people kind of get scared and intimidated about something,
Mhm.
like starting out in 75 hard. It's kind of like, you know, it's challenging. It's kind of like black and white. If you don't do something, you fail.
Mhm.
And then somebody who might be starting off might find that challenge to be intimidating and then totally like fall off the course,
Mhm.
right? So like, what would be your advice to somebody who wants to be that 1% better, but might not have that start off way of like just jumping in full fledged on something that's like so strict, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I will probably not start so strict, right? Because
Yeah.
like if you found me when I was 289 and you told me about 75 hard, I would just completely dismiss it. I'd be realistic about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A big part of the story that I tell people is don't try to be like anybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Because comparison is the thief of joy, and
Yeah.
you see other people already in shape, knowing you haven't worked out. For example. You know, you see somebody already winning in business when you don't even know how to start a business. And the comparison is usually what leads people to not making that initial jump. You know, but as you said, so what I focus on is that 1% every
Right.
day. 1% isn't much in a day,
Right.
right? I'm like, but progressively over time, if that's your main focus, then that starts adding up. And I've accepted, as bad as it sounds, I've accepted the pains, the sufferings, and the sadness that I know I'm going to experience in the future. Because it's there. It's there for you. It's there for me. It's there for everybody. We're not getting away, from life unscathed. It's just part of it. So the sooner you accept that, in order for me to get better, it is proven that you don't get better by taking the easier route.
Right.
I'm not saying anything crazy here. I'm saying everything that everybody knows, So the sooner you get into the mentality of like, I just got to do things I don't want to do. And then you got to figure out what those things are for you. Sometimes the gym isn't for you. You're a runner. You want to go run, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
I got friends that are rock climbers. They that's how they get in shape. You know what I mean? So it's all about figuring out how you can earn 1%. So at the end of the day, you're not seeking approval of others, but instead you're happy with who you are.
Yeah.
And that's difficult for a lot of people because most people don't know who they are or what they want.
Yeah.
And if you don't know either of those things, you're kind of just hoping to run into it. And I believe purpose isn't found; it's created by the things you experiment in. I can't tell you how many times like I've tried. At one point, I never pulled the trigger on it, but at one point I was even on Google looking up the things to get certified to be a trainer. You know what I mean? But I never went with it. Like as I was doing that, I'm like, this feels wrong for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just never did it. Could I have been a great trainer? Who knows?
Mhm.
I don't regret it though, but I experimented in it to know the feeling wasn't there for me.
Mhm.
So it was trial and error. And I believe it was just 3 years ago where I started the morning messages and they were 10 seconds long and it was something stupid like, think happy thoughts. Literally.
Now you've grown
Yeah.
into something.
Yeah. And I used to like always have a topic before I recorded. I'm looking at it, anxiety. and and I record like 3 or 4 before I get a good 10 seconds. And now I don't think about it. And that's not coincidence. As you know, it's just over time.
Right.
I've done it long enough where I didn't get great at it, but I'm a lot better than day one. So approaching the new year with the expectation that you're going to suck day one, but have hope and faith that if you continue showing up, you will be better. How much better is dependent on the effort you put in.
Yeah. But I think you also mentioned like doing something for yourself. And I think that's important. So not doing something for somebody else or impressing somebody else.
Yes.
Making sure you're doing nothing for yourself.
Exactly. And because the thing is, it's a paradox in a sense, right? So you start doing things that you don't like. Eventually, you get better at them, and as you get better at them, you start surrounding yourself with people that are doing the same thing as you, right? So now those people are now becoming a part of your story, not necessarily doing the exact same things, maybe, but you're all challenging yourselves in a personal way that is allowing you to grow as an individual. You know, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be a copy and paste of anybody, nor do I want to see a copy and paste of me on anybody else. I want people to live for themselves, you know, and that's the big part of what I speak about.
That was my question.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And being
Thanks
so
for having
wonderful.
us. Great question. Okay. Anybody else?
Anybody?
Chris is coming.
Who? Chris is coming. Oh. Were you working out?
Yeah.
Oh, in between sets. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
I'm all out breath ready.
It's okay.
Give me a second.
That's what I'm doing right after this. Welcome.
Last week.
Huh?
So I was doing this last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not breath Sorry. So what's up?
What's going on? Thank you for being here, first and foremost. I believe I sent you and Amanda a personal invitation. Right to
Facebook?
this, yep.
Yeah.
And it's because you, just like Amanda, right? Like you guys have played a huge part in the conversations we've had, the person that I am, and the thoughts that I entertain. Most importantly, and you being here, I'm just grateful for it.
Absolutely.
It means a
Yeah,
lot.
happy to be here.
You know, continue having the influence that you have on people, right? Just like Amanda, your energy is contagious. And it's a great thing to be able to know that I'm surrounded by. As selfish as it sounds, I just want quality people around me, and that sometimes that comes off as like I'm judging, right? But you got to figure out where you're going in life and what you're gonna do, and most importantly, how is your presence in my life affecting me?
Right.
And if it's a negative way, I just kind of don't want you around me. You know what I mean? And sometimes it takes a little bit to get to know a person. And I've ran into you years ago. I go to, and now to be formally introduced and to meet the man behind the face that I've seen so many years ago, it's flattering. And I've become better because of you.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
I'm happy to be here. All people that are here and that through mostly men.
Yeah, I assume that you know all of them, and you probably don't.
No, I don't.
This is Chris, everybody. I'm not good at the introductions
That's all right.
part.
Yeah, no, I know most of the faces here. So everybody's seen around. It's great.
Good.
Question?
Do I have a question?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a question for me?
Mm-hmm.
No. That's sad.
No. You want a
No,
question?
that's-
I
no,
can ask you.
No.
I could always come up with questions. Here's a good one. That's gonna.
Is he excited about leaving your dad?
That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. There's that.
Ask it though, because a lot of people might not be able to hear from there.
What did you say?
Is he excited
Are you
about
excited
leaving
to be
a new dad?
a new dad for the second time?
Yeah.
That takes away the word new
Well,
because it's just an experience.
Okay.
That is.
It's different now.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's all right. Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's a challenge. It's
Here's a
all
better
work.
question.
Yeah.
How do you plan? I love you, Tate. How do you plan on adjusting? Right? You remember the conversation I had with Amanda earlier?
I don't know. Adjusting. It's hard to say exactly. You can't plan for everything, especially when it comes to kids, because you don't know until it happens. It's the reality of it. So I try to just take it as it comes a lot of times, and try to fit in what I can, while still doing what I have to do first. So this is a lot of balance, honestly. So I know I have to adjust probably my own personal time to putting my first stuff aside first, and then kids first, and then make time for myself.
So like I should say, when we come to gym late, it's hard to come late, but I'm like, where else am I gonna go? So I go when I can, even though it sucks. Like how you do your 4 o'clock, walks. It sucks, but you still do it every day.
Mhm.
You make it work in your schedule. So
Yes.
a lot for me is adjusting, just taking as it comes and doing what I can do, and maybe even doing what I don't want to do.
Focusing on
but
what
still
you can
doing
control.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So it's hard, but it's still one of those things where it's gonna happen, and I can either be upset by it, sit on the couch and just sulk, or I can be like, hey, I'm gonna go to gym at 11 o'clock at night. It's an hour, and that's it.
Is there anything you're going to do differently with the second child?
Yes, but a lot of it kind of comes to play because the first child, you learn a lot about the patience part of it, I would say, especially like when it comes to like putting yourself second, which is hard for people to do in general. I feel like because you want to put yourself first. You want to take care of things you want to take care of. But when it comes to the child, you got to put them first, especially be a good parent. If you're a crappy parent, then you don't care what the kid does. But to be a good parent, it's them first, you second. And I had to learn it the hard way, truthfully. There's times where I wasn't good. But I learned through trial and error, okay, this is what is my priority. This is what I'm going to do. And then I'll try to fit in things that I want to do within that schedule. So maybe it's playing less video games, right?
Yes.
That doesn't, yeah, exactly, it does. But, that doesn't happen as much as it was when I was younger.
Mhm.
But the gym comes before video games, let's say, right? Or before anything else I have, like little hobbies. There's certain things that I know, hey, this one's not going to have much attention, but I'm going to give it what I can to this one. So I still have that release, I guess, for me.
Yeah.
Which the gym's a big release for me. Just being able to be here, move some stuff around. It makes me feel better. Just when I'm here doing it. So,
Yeah.
And that allows me, even when I get home, to be a better parent now. Because now I'm happier. So my happiness shows up on them.
Yeah.
And my daily life too. So it's just kind of a chain effect of things.
That's so tricky. That's
Yeah.
why I asked all those questions. I'm not
Sorry.
a parent yet.
Yeah.
That's scary. Good on you, on everybody who's a
Sorry.
parent.
It's very hard. But make it work if you want it to work. That's the thing. It's just about what you're willing to do for yourself and for them. So you're good. You know how it is. You make sacrifices with work, and you got to go to the walks early. You got to the gym after work. You got to still be there for Juliana. You got to take care of the cats. You got to do, it's a lot. So you still make it work too. You're just going to shift it. Your balance is going to shift when you have a kid. That's what it comes down to. So you find ways to make it work within your schedule.
Well, you probably don't get this a lot, but you're doing a great job
Thank you.
as one, right? I don't know you personally in the sense of, actually, I do know you pretty personally now.
Yeah.
We've had some
that's a good talk.
great conversations. And I hope I'm as good as you one day.
No, absolutely.
You know,
You better, bro.
so keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
No, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. You want to come on? No? I have as much fear as everybody here. Come on. How much time we got? 8 minutes?
We're going on 7 minutes.
Perfect. So you'll probably be the last one, and then I'll get Trey back on. Yeah. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
So this is my sister. If you don't know her, her name's Nomaris. She goes obviously deeper than my barber because she's been there longer around.
I was born first, so I've definitely been there.
My sister, without knowing, became my first therapist.
Oh.
And when I was going through difficulties in life, and I was what I would consider uncontrollable and lacking in enthusiastic thoughts for myself, you were the one that I went to, and you always guided me. And you probably see me cry more than Juliana has, which is insane, And you being here, you being a part of my life, I would not be here without you, because I run my fears, insecurities, and doubts through you, And you're always a pillar of encouragement, And this episode has been more of an appreciation episode, because I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the conversations I've had with everybody in this room, but. I know I told you this before, but I'll tell you again here live in front of everybody. The conversations we've had have been the most impactful for my life, And I am who I am today because of you. So I love you dearly, and I look forward to what the future holds for us. You know.
Yes, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting how the roles have now reversed a little bit? I go to you now.
Yeah, for therapy. I try
it's
my
not
best.
one-sided that way. Now
You
we're
know?
going to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've definitely grown. I've seen you flourish. You know, I've seen you fail. I've seen you come back up, and you know, you're an example for everybody. You know, the one question that I've had is, if you could come face to face with the Miguel that started all this, right? What would you say if you had the chance? You know.
Egotistically speaking, I'd probably say I told you, right? And that just stems from, you know, in the beginning of a journey like that, you were there, 289 pounds, neck was turning black. I was not happy. I was sad about life, you know, and to one day look in the mirror and say, I have a vision of the person sitting here now. Will it ever be a reality? Probably not. It was the initial thought. You know, so over time, the confidence was being built, and not confidence that I can do it per se, but confidence in that I have opportunities around me that I could take advantage of, you know. And if I was in front of Fat Miguel right now, I'd just be like, dude, look at what you did, you know, because nobody believes it. Nobody believes in what you can achieve until it's achieved. You know, I've had people in my life tell me, like, you barely made it in the military. Good luck in real life. You get what I'm saying? And I did, and I took that, and I'm like, you know, take that. I would carry that, you know. And then as I move forward in life, I was proving them right, you know, because then I got out of the military. I was in shape, you know, and then everything started spiraling out of control, and the conversation's just like, well, I guess they were right. This is my life, you know. So to go from doubt to the point where I've accepted this is just who I am, this is my life, you know, to now the person sitting next to you. If I was in front of that man, I don't know what I would say. I'd just say, just look at what you've done, you know, and know that since we're getting close to the end, I'll speak to everybody now. You can stay here for this. I'm not special in any way, shape, or form. A lot of the messages that I put out is always a reminder that nothing unethical happened to me that made me who I am today. So to know that you guys listen and get inspired by my experience, know that my experience is the experience of a human being, and which is what we all are. So therefore, if I can do it, you can do it, and chances are even better. And that doesn't mean you become a speaker unless you want to be a speaker, but that means that in your own way you thrive and you give your day's purpose and you live with intention, right? Because and especially in today's world, it's so easy to get on social media and be distracted by all the negativity of life and point things out and say, well, you know, things would be better if this didn't happen. But if you just turn that perspective around, look in the mirror and say things get better when I as an individual get better, and that's only a result of the choices you repeat over time, then life will be good for you. You know, I hate to be overly happy. I'm always enthusiastic, and people are like, that's probably fake. There's no way he's that happy all the time, and I'm not. But I know what is required of me to get to a point of fulfillment, and that comes from doing things I don't want to do, unfortunately, you know. But fortunately, I know that since I've accepted that as my reality, just like all of you can here, and all of you have here, because as I look around, I just literally see people whom I've met at one chapter of their life transform and become better into another chapter of their life. And it's not because of me. It's because of the decisions you chose to make. Right. And I appreciate every single one of you for being here, you know. So we got 2 minutes left. Trey, get back on. Norma, I love you more than words can express. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my first free therapist.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
How do you feel?
I'm feeling phenomenal. The nerves are gone.
Wow, I can't wait for this camera.
How we feeling, guys?
Wow.
I'm back. I'm sweating over there watching.
I just wanted to plug you in at the end because we are literally inside of
Legacy Training Center.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, there it is. That's exactly where we are. And you've given me the environment. You've given me the platform. You've given me plenty time of subject of conversation based off the conversations we have. Sean literally would not be here without the efforts that you put into your own life to make this a reality. You know, and as we move into 2025, know that this isn't the last time that Legacy and Compounding Daily will collab. I see it becoming a thing. The people in here are just filled with quality. And when you focus on surrounding yourself by good people, the rest takes care of itself. Because even in your difficult times, there's people lifting you up and encouraging you and becoming better. And Legacy Training Center, not just you, I'm sorry, Trey, but Legacy Training Center has been a huge part of that. You know, I've met a lot of people here before it was even Legacy. And the motto of Legacy is making dreams a reality. And I've dreamed of this day for a very long time. And you've made it possible for me.
I appreciate you. I remember we did, I think it was like episode 50. And we just thought of the idea out after the podcast. And it was just an idea.
Yeah.
The fact that we actually made it happen is pretty nuts.
Yeah, and that's
I'm sitting back there next
ago.
to Gino and Sean, trying not to tear up because like you talked about this and I seen the joy in your face. You talked about like, man, we got to make this happen. You know what I mean? So being able to be a part of it, allowing you to use my facility, all the people in this room I love, man. All these people impacted my life so much, man. Like, you know how much how I feel about you. Dude. I wouldn't be in the position I am today if it wasn't for the words of wisdom you give me on a daily basis. Like, I'm a very motivated person on a daily basis. You know, I do things every day repeatedly. I wake up, you know, normal time, same around as you. But I'm like, dang, Miguel's up at 4:45. I'm competitive as heck. I'm like, dang, I gotta get up. I gotta get out of this bed. So you motivate me all the time, man. Like I gotta keep going. Miguel's going. I can't slack because I know you're gonna send me a text message like, Trey, where you at? You gotta keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and
I appreciate you.
This is my training.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You motivate me. I motivate you.
Yeah.
You're my coach.
He takes it out on me. Just so you know, I suffer because of this, man.
But no, man. You've impacted my life in so many different ways, man. I've had some phenomenal conversation with you. Cried numerous times, you know. But yeah, man, I love you, dude. I'm truly blessed to be able to provide you this space so you can do what you love.
Would not be here without you.
So yeah, man,
it's
nuts.
Mutual.
We got to hurry up and turn this off.
Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it. Right, that's good.
That sounds great.
Yeah, let's just wrap it as usual.
Yeah, man.
Until next time. Boom.